Kim, thanks very much for joining us on Zoom. Is your sense that things will go back to normal, or do you see that there are actually going to be some shifts in terms of some of the trends influencing the real estate markets, whether that's to do with office use, home working, whether that's to do with shopping online, those kinds of things?
This will result in some changes. Interestingly, a lot's been said about shopping online, but again, picking up some of the things that we've seen in Asia, that hasn't been necessarily a permanent, significant shift from the physical stores to the online retail, because what we've seen and what we're seeing in Europe as well is that there are actually some quite significant capacity limitations, particularly for the online grocers at the moment. So yes, I think it will perhaps speed up some adoption of online shopping, but I don't think it's going to be the sort of the massive shift that perhaps we were talking about 2 or 3 weeks ago, given what we've seen in terms of the capacity issues at the moment. I think from a logistics perspective, I think it's reinforcing people's views that logistics is a very strong asset class to be investing into, though I think we might see some of the logisticians actually having some short-term issues with supply chain management. So it may not be plain sailing in terms of being able to collect 100% of the rent in the short term. And I think for offices, perhaps this is going to be the one sector where we see some of the longer term changes. It may be we start to see occupiers really significantly implementing much more of a sort of a hot desking, low ratio environment, because people understand how they can use technology to work from home and still be interacting with their colleagues. So I think you will see some of those working practices continue. At the beginning of the crisis, someone said, and it really stuck in my mind, is it only takes 6 weeks to create a habit. So I think that, if we're going to be sitting at home working like this for potentially 2 to 3 months, I think we will start to embrace some of these technologies as a permanent way of working. The interesting thing talking to our Asia colleagues is they are desperate to get back in the office. So I think that they do also show that there's going to be a place for the physical office. That face-to-face contact is still really important at the end of the day. But I think technology is enabling us to also find alternative ways of working, perhaps not every day from home, but more regularly from home, but with still that contact.
Great. Thanks very much, as ever, for sharing your insights with us today, Kim. Thank you.
My pleasure.